Alright, so I'm going to go over a video on how the VA dealt with my back at the beginning and what's going on right now. So in 2008, I went to basic training in Fort Sill, and so 2007, 2008. So I think early 2008, I hurt my back after a ruck march. I didn't know what happened. I just fell to my knees. So I went to the TMC and they gave me naproxen and sent me on my way. So I did three tours overseas, and when I came back, I went to the VA, and they did a X-ray. They said, "Well, you're having muscle spasms, so here's some cyclobenzaprine." And I took it. I was feeling dizzy, so I stopped taking it, And anyways, that's all the tests that they did, you know. And so I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. My back's hurting, and then I filed for disability for it, and that went crazy, I don't want to go through that right now. That'd be another video. But so 3 years later, 2016, I said, you guys are going to do an MRI. So they finally did an MRI. And I got the results right here from 2016. This is when this was printed, but let's see. Yeah, 2016, late 2016, I finally got an MRI from 2000 and early 2014, 2013. Yes, 2013 is when I told them, about my back. So it took them 3 years to do an MRI of my back, and I was in pain this whole time. Okay, not as much as I am now, but I'm still in pain. And I've dealt with the pain so much. My pain tolerance level is so freaking ridiculously high right now that it's hard for me to actually give. The scale is just like, okay, 10 is, for me, I'm on average 8 to 9 scale. I would assume that on a daily basis, basically right now, and depending on my activity level. But anyways, finally they did an MRI. And the doctor called me back, and she goes, well, I don't know why you're in so much pain. In late 2016, she called me back. I said, well, I don't know either. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. So I helped a friend out with some lumber. He's a police officer, and they were building their business. And I used my truck to get some lumber for their building, and I was helping them just put it in a pile. I was picking it out of the truck, and at the time I didn't know what was going on with my back. I didn't know. I didn't have any of these results or reports or anything in besides the results that everything was good with my back, based on what that doctor told me and not seeing the results. That's why I tell veterans always, 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 always look at your test results. Look at them yourselves. Just don't go by saying that they were negative or this or that. Look at them yourself and do your own research on what's going on with your results and what can be done. That way that gives you some power to justify you questioning your doctor's motives on what they want to do. He might want to do just stupid tests that doesn't make any sense just to milk that money from the choice program. Been there, done that, fired doctors because of that. Next video on that. But anyways, so about 10 days I was in severe pain. 10 days. I was crying. I'm going to be honest. I was crying. I went to the clinic, the walk-in clinic. I said, you know what? I don't know what's going on in my back. It is hurting me. It is hurting me. And another doctor filled in, and I said, well, she told me that there was nothing wrong with my MRI. But he goes, well, let me look at it. So he looks at the results of my MRI. And he goes, well, no wonder you got 2 bulges and 2 annular tears. I said, what do you mean? Well, you got 2 tears. It says so right here. I was like, well, that doctor said there was nothing wrong with my back, and she didn't know why I was in pain. And so anyways, that doctor is no longer a PCP there at that clinic, from my understanding. She branched off to do something else, but she does not work as a PCP there at that clinic, from my understanding. So I don't know if I played a part in that or what, but if you're going to lie to me, this is how I think. If you're going to hurt my health, if you're going to continue to hurt me because you're in action to get me further care or further evaluation, then I'm going to hurt your wallet. You know, if you're making the personal decision not to help me, or if you have the ability to expedite things when I need them expedited because I'm in so much pain, then I'm going to go for your wallet. Because if you don't care about my health, you know, I'm not going to care about your job. You know, you only have that job, like I said, because of us. That's the truth behind it. You know, I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I don't. But when I need health care, I depend on the VA. And so far, you know, my point is that we need to stick together as veterans and get the VA to operate on an effective and efficient system. Right now, it's not effective or efficient because most doctors just think of it as a paycheck. It's a stepping stone to them, you know. That's what it is. It's a training hospital. It's a stepping stone for they can branch off and start their own practice or go with some other group. But anyways, so I had to do a lot of research on my MRIs and CT myelograms that I did. And so he sent me, I'll just tell you what the, you know, I'll just kind of do this. So 3 of my lumbar discs have disc disciation, which is loss of fluid in the discs. With posterior annular bulging, posterior central annular tears, another posterior annular bulging, ossific ridgeting, and a right postlateral annular tear. Now, this report didn't show that I had any stenosis, but my CT myelogram showed a lot more. It showed that I had 6 bulges throughout my C7 down to my, you know, S1, and so we're still waiting on my neck MRI to get done. When we do that full spine MRI. I'm getting tired. I'm not really tired, but I am. I don't know. But anyways, so he sent me to a pain management, and they burned my nerves on the right side where it hurt the most. It didn't work, and at the time I didn't want to take any pain medication. He just suggested tramadol, and so I told him, no, you know, I don't want to take this medication. You know, I don't want to get big pharma. I'm already, you know, it's ridiculous. I don't want to be part of big pharma, but you know, lately I've been succumbing to big pharma because I'm in a lot of pain. And anyway, so I went to the pain manager, it didn't work. And so they referred me to a neurosurgeon. Well, after one visit with the neurosurgeon, one visit, and then he did the CT myelogram, and then I had the next visit to discuss the results and what could be done. So what could be done, so after the second visit that I saw him, he wanted to do a spinal cord stimulator with Burst DR. So I did the Burst DR. I went in on a Wednesday, and on that Wednesday they did the surgery, and Thursday morning they discharged me. I could barely walk. They got me a walker. The VA got me a walker after, you know, multiple calls because I could not walk. I was in pain. And what happened was that the nurse forgot to give me any pain medication overnight because what I was given Dilaudid during the surgery, so they had any other pain medication on hold, and for some reason they have it on hold for a certain amount of time until, because of that Dilaudid pain medication. And so I'm new to all this type of, you know, stuff, and so the nurse forgot to get it released from the pharmacy, so she didn't give me pain medication that whole night. Of course, at the position I was in, I was not moving. I was not trying to get up, you know, nothing. But when they tried to get me to walk, I was in hellish pain. Hellish pain. Pain I never even thought that I could be in pain. And so I got up. The morning nurse finally realized what had happened, and I got up, I chewed the charge nurse's ass out. And so they discharged me. When I was about to get discharged, they redid my bandages because they were really wet. They were really soggy. And so I had to go next door to get some medication from the neurosurgeon and so my prescription. And so I was kind of upset because I had to walk to the neurosurgeon's office, which is like next door, instead of them just giving me my prescription right there at the hospital when they discharged me. And anyways, I've just told this story so many times, I won't tell it to the world now. But when I got to the doctor's office, that neurosurgeon's office, I told him that about my bandages. So he looked at him and he said, you got a spinal cord fluid leak. And so he goes, I'm readmitting you to the hospital right now. So I got there and they did a fat graph. And after 2 hours after that surgery, I was discharged home again. And Friday morning rolls around, I was leaking again. So I spent 7 hours at the local hospital, and I have pictures of my hospital bed just soaking with CSF fluid and blood, and then a 2-hour ride to where the surgeon was at, and he didn't even perform the lumbar tap that needed to be done. So what they did was for 5 days I was in ICU, and 4 days was they were draining 50% of my spinal cord fluid, and that way my incisions, the pressure could be taken off the incisions to heal. And on the 5th day they took me off it, and everything was good. There was no leaks, and I was discharged. But and then a year later, I was still having pain. I fell 5 times. And the spinal cord stimulator was not working. I was calling the rep. They couldn't adjust it right. They wouldn't get back to me. And soon, like I said, there's a Netflix film now about devices now. You got to watch them. It's all about making that money. I mean, from seeing that neurosurgeon, from the beginning of the neurosurgeon to the end of my care with the neurosurgeon, once I fired him, they spent $750,000 for that spinal cord stimulator in my care. Now that's probably not what they paid, but that's what his bill was. And so we're actually suing that hospital for everything. So yeah, again, this is the end of the video. It's kind of a long video. I could have talked faster, but I'm not. And please, email us at thelifeofhellintheVA@gmail.com if you want to be a part of the book. Tell us your stories, good or bad. Keep us updated on your health care and what's going on so we can get, everything out in the world, and get it to Congress so they can change things. They're the ones that can change things. It's Congress. Congress can change the VA. They're the bosses of the VA, Congress is. They're the real bosses of the VA. So, anyways, have a good morning.